This is how the British ambassador to the United Nations was greeted at a refugee camp close to the Bangladesh-Myanmar border. The 24-member UN Security Council delegation, led by Britain, Peru and Kuwait, came to assess the situation on the ground for more than 1 million refugees living here, 700,000 of whom fled the crackdown by the Myanmar military, which began in August. They heard stories like these.
I was raped. They killed my husband. They burnt my 2-year-old son. I saw 5 men rape a 12-year-old girl and then kill her. We want justice from you.
Thousands of refugees lined the roads as the delegation vehicles passed. Many held signs demanding justice and help. In the Kutupalong refugee camp, the delegates were split into groups to listen to more stories from victims of violence. One man told them the Myanmar government would never tell them the truth. Do your investigations from your own countries, he said. Britain's UN ambassador said it was vital the international community act with one voice.
We need to go back and evaluate what we've seen on this trip and see if we can come together to build on the unified view that the Security Council had back in November when it called on the government of Myanmar to do certain things to protect the Rohingya and allow them to go back in conditions of safety. So I think that's the immediate short-term priority.
Myanmar has banned any independent investigation into what the UN says is ethnic cleansing of the Rohingya. Myanmar doesn't recognise them as an ethnic group, it calls them Bengali. What was then the Burmese government stripped Rohingya of their citizenship in 1982. Last November, the Security Council passed a resolution demanding Myanmar halt military action against the Rohingya. But the potential veto power of Myanmar allies China and Russia has stalled anything stronger than that. At a news conference, China's representative stated his country's position.
First is to cease violence, to cease fire. The second is to try to find a solution accepted by the government of Myanmar and Bangladesh. Focus on the repatriation. The third is to address the root causes.
When a journalist asked the UN delegates which of them used the word Rohingya, China's representative appeared not to understand, but didn't raise his hand. Later he told me China respects what Rohingya call themselves. The United Nations Security Council delegation came here to assess the magnitude of this crisis. And what they've seen today and some of the stories that they've heard have no doubt given them a fair indication of just how terrible the situation is here. It's fair to say they will probably hear a very different story in Myanmar from the government there. And that means translating their findings into concrete, unified political action at the Security Council could remain a challenge for some time yet. Stratford, Al Jazeera, Kutupalong refugee camp, Bangladesh.